Hello learners. On behalf of the School of Vocational Education and Training, I, Urshla Kant, welcome you all to this session on MSEL 032, the practical aspects of the program Master of Science Information Security at MSCIS and PG Diploma in Information Security, that is PGDIS. I hope you all doing well. In today's scenario, information security is a matter of great concern. This makes our MSCIS, that is Master of Science Information Security, and PGDIS, that is PG Diploma in Information Security programs more important and useful. To protect information, different techniques are used by the organizations, especially when the information is used on the internet and it moves in the cyber world from one computer to another computer, crossing different geographical boundaries. There are chances of information theft on the way by some malicious users. To protect information against such threats, the data protection is a must, which is the main objective of our programs MSCIS and PGDIS, by which we can safeguard our vital information against such threats. For learners who have entered these programs and also re-registered in the second semester of this program in January 2025 session, I want to focus on three important things before going for the further details of the MSEL 032 course. So the three important things which I want to tell you, the first thing is the study material. The soft copy of the study material of these programs are available on our IGNOU website, that is www.ignou.ac.in on EGNOU. If you have not received the hard copy because of some postal delay, you can refer the soft copy which is available on EGNOU on our IGNOU website. The second important thing is assignments. As you know, assignments is a very important component of our ODL programs. The assignments for January 2025 session are already available on IGNOU website. You need to download and write these by your own hand and submit to your concerned regional center or study center by 31st May 2025. So please be careful that 31st May is the last date to submit these assignments. It is compulsory to submit these assignments if you want to sit for the term end exam in June 2025. And the third important thing is term end exam form. As you know, the last date to fill the term end exam form is already over in order to sit for June 2025 term end exam. And I want to tell you at this point of time that the June 2025 term end exam, which were earlier scheduled to be held from 2nd June 2025, will now be conducted from 12th June to 19th July 2025. And the revised date sheet is already available on IGNOU website. As I am receiving so many queries for the lab course MSEL 037, which is the main course of this session, so today I will give about the MSEL 037 course. As I already told you about this program of MSCIS, the aim of this MSCIS is to spread awareness of information security and protection. The second aim of this program is to provide protection and security to personal data and to build data-oriented infrastructure in the companies. The third aim of our program is to raise high professional ethics in the individual and students towards providing the information security. And the fourth aim of our program is to experiment and learn the skills and techniques which are needed for providing protection and security to our information. So in order to provide the skills and techniques which are required to protect our information, this course MSCIS 032 and 37, these are very, very important as it covers all the practical aspects of this program MSCIS. So it provides the skills and techniques which are used to protect the data. This MSCIS 037 is the course, it is in your 4th semester. As you are watching on the screen, the 4th semester courses. The first course is MSc 033. The title of this course is Web Application Testing and Audit. The second course is MSc 034, which is E-Commerce and Cyberspace. The third course is MSc 035, that is IoT Security. And the fourth course, MSc 036, Latest Trends in Information and Cybersecurity. So these are the 4 theory courses which are there in the semester 4, and the practical covers about all these 4 theory courses comes under MSCIS 037. This is the practical for MSc 033, 34, 35 and 36. So it covers all the practical components of web application testing and audit, e-commerce and cyberspace, IoT security and latest trends in information and cyber security. This course MSCIS 037 introduces you to the practical work with the most powerful concepts which are web application audit, mobile app audit, malware detection and mitigation, and IoT device auditing. As I already told you in the beginning, so these are the important components of this semester 4. So all the practical aspects of this web application audit, mobile app audit, malware detection and mitigation, and IoT device auditing, practical aspects are covered under this course MSCIS 037. These practicals are based on the courses of MSc 33, 34 and 35. So you are required to gain hands-on experience on this practical component of these courses. After completing this course, you will be able to solve problems for various techniques of web application audit, mobile app audit, malware detection and mitigation, and IoT device auditing. So these are the very, very important concepts of information security, and the practical component of these concepts comes under this MSCIS 037, this course. So in order to have better understanding, you are advised to firstly get the conceptual clarity of the various concepts which are presented in this course of this program, and then implement your understanding to solve the problems given in the various sessions of this course. So this is very, very important. And I want to tell you at this point of time that the practical sessions are conducted in your study centers. So you have to be present in all the lab sessions. It is my personal advice, so that you can able to complete this particular course. In this course, there is a block which consists of lab sessions on web application audit, lab sessions on mobile app audit, lab sessions on malware detection and mitigation, and lab session on IoT device auditing. So all these lab sessions comes under this course. First of all, I will start with the lab session on web application audit. What we have covered. So website application audit is a complete review of all the elements and the features which influence a website search engine visibility. This accepted technique provides thorough insight into any website, overall traffic, and specific pages. The main goal of the website audit is to identify the features and the existing vulnerabilities in the website programming. The objective is to apply benchmark tools to evaluate the performances and weaknesses that damage the website performance. It covers the principles of web application audit and also understand OWASP. This is very, very important. OWASP. The full form of OWASP is Open Web Application Security Project, which you will come into focus, which is used to identify the various common attacks exist in any web application. It includes hands-on practices to implement various tools and attacks to identify the services and the security level of the coding in any web application. So OWASP is very, very important, and the full form of OWASP is Open Web Application Security Project. So as exam point of view, this is very, very important. The learning outcomes of this particular session is to recognize and describe common security vulnerability in web application such as SQL injection. This is very, very important. SQL injection, cross-site scripting, that is XSS. The full form of XSS is cross-site scripting, and broken authentication and session management. Also, it uses a vulnerability scanning tool. This is also very important, such as Burp Suite or OWASP. This is very, very important. These tools you can use while doing the practicals in your lab to scan a web application for security vulnerabilities and generate a report of the findings. It also analyzes the results of vulnerability scan and prioritize the vulnerabilities which are based on the severity and impact. So these are the learning outcomes. Further, you can develop a plan to remediate the vulnerabilities which are identified in the scan report, include prioritizing the fixes and recommending the specification to mitigate the risk. You also use the manual testing techniques to verify and validate the results of the vulnerability scan, identify the additional vulnerabilities that may not have been detected by the scanning tool, and also demonstrate the impact of the successful attack. Also, you can clearly and brief in the document about findings and recommendation in a professional report, because you have to make a professional report after doing all the practical, which include a executive summary, detailed technical findings, and actionable recommendation for remediation, and also demonstrate the ethical conduct throughout the auditing process, which includes respecting the confidentiality of the client, adhering to ethical hacking principles, and obtain the appropriate permission for testing. So this is very, very important. Now I will come to what session you will do what activity. So in the first session, you have to understand the operating system, OS, network services, and open ports on the web server. You have to identify the detailed PHP version and configuration, technical specification of the targeted website application, in which you can apply footprinting techniques, DNS records, and whois records. So this you can use in the session 1. Session 2, you can identify the features of mobile responsive design, CMS, details of SSL certificate, etc. for the target website. So this comes under the session 2, in which you can have to use the mobile responsive design. In the third session, you can explain with example DVWA emulator and also list the vulnerabilities covered by it. The fourth session, in this you can identify the open ports on the web server along with the operating system detection technique and running services using Nmap utility. In fifth session, you can identify the level of severities using ZAP proxy server. In session 6, you can identify the level of severities using Burp Suite and apply the interception technique and temper the data submitted via any web form. In session 7, You can apply Google Docs. This is very, very important as exam point of view, Google Docs. And also you have to identify the websites based on log files and open FTP server emails list, live cameras, audio, video and PDF files. In session 8, you can use the manual testing technique to verify and validate the results of the vulnerability scan. In session 9, you have to make the report findings and recommendation, which include executive summary, detailed technical finding and actionable recommendation for remediation. And in session 10, you have to demonstrate the ethical conduct throughout the auditing process. So these are the lab sessions under the first web auditing. Now I will come to the lab session on mobile app audit. As you know, mobile application audit is a critical process which helps to evaluate and test the security, functionality and overall quality of a mobile application. We have already provided a step-by-step guide on how to perform a mobile application audit in our study material, and I want to tell you our study material is written by the well-known experts of information security, and the language is very, very simple and very easy to understand. And if you will read the material, you will find that the concepts are very, very clear. In this, the learning outcomes are to explain the architecture of mobile applications, be familiar with common security issues in mobile application like authentication, authorization, data leakage and malware. Malware is very, very important. And also to identify the vulnerabilities in mobile application such as insecure data storage, weak authentication and network communication issues. In this, we also conduct various security tests on mobile application. For example, penetration testing. This is very, very important as exam point of view, and vulnerability scanning and also the code review. We also have to propose and implement the measures to mitigate security risk in mobile application such as encryption, access control and secure coding practices. So these are the learning outcomes. Now I will tell you about what are the 6 steps which are involved in mobile application auditing process. The first step is to define, as you seen on your screen. The first step is define the audit objective. First of all, you have to define the objective. Then the step 2 is identify the audit scope. Then the third step is determine the audit methodology. And the fourth step is prepare the audit environment. The fifth step is conduct the audit. And the sixth step is you have to document and report the results. So all these 6 steps you have to follow while doing the mobile application audit process. So these 6 steps are very, very important. In this, in the first session, you need to study the application of industry standards and best practices for mobile application security. In the session 2, you have to list out OWASP mobile top 10 and you need to be able to apply them in the practical session. In the third session, you need to identify the vulnerabilities in mobile application like data storage, weak authentication, network communication issues. So you need to identify such vulnerabilities in session 3rd. In the 4th session, you have to install and use mobile application auditing tools like penetration testing, vulnerability scanning, and code review to identify vulnerabilities and conduct the security testing. So this you need to done in your session 4. In session 5, you need to write the technical reports which document all the vulnerabilities found in the system. And in session 6, you need to demonstrate the practical skills in identifying and justifying the security risk in mobile applications. In 7th session, you need to apply the industry standard tools and techniques for mobile application development and security. And in 8th session, you need to recommend various measures with justification for tackling the security issues in the organization. So these sessions are very, very important, and you need to perform all these sessions in your lab, in your study center. Now I will tell you about the lab sessions, which covers the malware detection and mitigation. This is the third thing in our MSCL 037, malware detection and mitigation. It covers the practical skills in which you will gain during practical sessions in identifying, analyzing and mitigating the malware infection using industry standard tools and techniques. So this is very, very important. These skills are highly valuable in today's cybersecurity scenario. As I already told you in the beginning, in today's scenario, information security is very, very important. So these malware detection and mitigation skills are required in this scenario, present scenario, very well. So you need to prepare for careers in cybersecurity and malware analysis after performing these lab sessions. So the learning outcome of these sessions is to identify the different types of malware and understand their behaviors. For example, data theft and system disruption. You need to recognize the symptoms of malware infection, such as slow system performance, unexpected pop-ups and unusual network activity. You need to apply and use various malware detection tools such as antivirus software, network scanners and intrusion detection systems to identify and isolate the malware. You need to develop mitigation strategies to prevent malware infections. You need to respond to the malware incidents by isolating infected systems, removing malware and restoring system functionality. And also you need to write the technical reports and documenting the malware found. In this, the 7 steps are involved while doing the malware detection and mitigation. As you are watching on your screen, the first step is to set up a lab environment. This is very, very important. First, you need to set up a lab environment. The second step is to identify the malware samples. You need to identify what are the samples of malware and you need to identify them. The third step is conduct malware analysis. That what is malware analysis? You will come to you will get it in your study material. How to conduct malware analysis. The fourth step is use malware detection tools. This is very, very important. By this, you will able to know the skills and techniques by which you can use all these tools. The fifth step is to develop mitigation strategies. And the sixth step is to conduct the incident response. In this, you need to conduct incident response means how you will control that malware. This is very, very important. What precaution you can take while preventing that malware. This comes under the conducting the incident response. So this step is very, very important. Conduct incident response. Then the step 7th is report finding and recommendation. In this, you need to report all the findings and you need to give the recommendation that how you have prevented that malware and what precaution you have taken, what tools you have taken and how much malware you have prevented. So all this comes under step 7, that is report findings and recommendations. In this, there are sessions are there. In the first session, you need to analyze a malware sample using IDA Pro or similar tools to understand its behavior and purpose. And you need to develop a report and submit it to your study center. And then in session 2nd, you need to understand the control flow of the code and identify its functionality. In the 3rd session, you have to use antivirus software to detect and analyze the malware samples. You need to experiment with different detection settings and report your results. In 4th session, you need to apply the network traffic analysis tools. These are very, very important to analyze the network traffic for signs of malware activity and submit a report on its findings. In the fifth session, you need to use antivirus software and specialized tools to clean the system without causing further damage. You need to practice the malware removal using a virtual machine infected with malware. So this is very, very important. In the sixth session, you need to use a rootkit scanner to detect and remove the rootkits from an infected system and present in a report. In seventh session, you need to use a virtual computer, practice incident response methods while simulating a malware assault. You need to analyze the danger, stop the infection, and stop more harm from occurring. So this is important. In eighth session, you make the strategy for an incident reaction to a fictitious malware attack. Then you have to create a plan document and present it during the session. In the ninth session, use a vulnerability scanner to evaluate a system's vulnerability. You need to analyze the findings to find any possible weak points. In the last session, that is the 10th session, you need to use penetration testing tools to simulate a hacker attack on a system, document the results and present them in a report. So all these sessions, 10 sessions comes under this malware detection thing. So today we have discussed the malwares, these lab sessions on this web audit, mobile audit and malware. So today we have covered these three aspects and I hope you have enjoyed this session. And if you have any further query, you can write an email to mscis@ignou.ac.in. So happy learning.